afternoon, everybody. We're here to present PalletSwap. PalletSwap uses smart contracts to simplify the exchange process and tracking process for pallet assets. Our team, I'm Daniel, Nils, Laurent, and Sebastian. When we started thinking about a problem to build a POC for, which was on Monday, we wanted to find a real problem, a problem that really exists today and that has real applicability as soon as we would be done. We thought about supply chains and we came to think about pallets. Now, pallets might seem very boring at first, that's what we thought. But think about these numbers. Think about the fact that there are 10 billion with a B pallets in circulation every day. That is more pallets than humans on this planet. There are more stats that we could go through, but one stat to leave you with is that the loss caused by misplaced pallets, stolen pallets, etc. is just short of $5 billion every year. Three key problems, really: transparency with regards to ownership, quality, and authenticity are the underlying factors that we're trying to address. And since this might not be familiar to everybody, I'm going to quickly walk you through the process of how the pallet transfer takes place today. This is really how we start. We have a producer that takes his goods, puts them on pallets, and moves them into a truck. The truck then usually delivers these pallets to another location, where the goods are unloaded, again on pallets, and stored in a warehouse on the same pallets. Now the truck gets empty pallets in return, but these are not the same pallets because the goods stay on the pallets. So he gets back different pallets, and he doesn't know if these pallets are of the same quality, maybe they're stolen, maybe they're even fakes. So hence again the three problems: ownership, quality, and authenticity. This is where PalletSwap comes in. The process starts very similarly, but already during the transfer, we are using smart sensors that send environmental variables to the private blockchain in our case. So you can see on our great prototype. The pallets are delivered to a warehouse, unloaded again in the same way. But here's a second difference. We designed a handshake. Similar to the transfer of an asset in the cryptocurrency world, we use, as you can see, a QR code that makes it easy for the receiving end to scan in the pallet or pallets and then sign this transaction with the respective private keys of both the receiver and the delivery party, meaning that there's full transparency. Both parties can see where the pellets came from, what quality they are, and they know they're not fakes, they're not stolen, all of that is taken care of. Similarly, as the truck receives the empty pallets back, he has the same information. Thus, we solve the problem of ownership, we solve the problem of quality, and we solve the problem of authenticity. I just talked about the premise of this solution in detail, and I will now talk about a little bit about the technology. What we do, as I pointed out, is we have the producer that uses a private key to move the ownership of the asset from him to the trucking company. The same thing takes place between the truck, the warehouse, and all of this takes place on a private blockchain. We designed it, we're running our private blockchain, and we're doing this for two reasons. Number one, first and foremost, we learned from the industry, some of the people that spoke here, and we sort of knew it from before, that the data that these companies have, their supply chain data, they would never want it on a public blockchain. However, we still want the trust. Right? So what we're doing is we're taking a hash, right, of all the transaction data that we're storing on the private blockchain periodically, and we're sending that to a public blockchain. And it doesn't really matter which one we use. We used Ethereum, we could have used Bitcoin blockchain, it doesn't matter, it just has to be a blockchain so that we can essentially harvest the proof of work, security that goes into it without having to do the work ourselves. We're also collecting environmental variables. As you can see, we have the ROVI sensor, we have a GPS location sensor, and that will be stored, which really makes up the business model. In summary, again, the pallet asset transfer, really, the real industry challenge was the key underlying driver. The fried metadata is really where we think the business model comes from. This is where we monetize the entire thing, leading to simplified tracking and exchange, as well as simplicity, transparency. This is PalletSwap. Next steps. Everybody guessed it. Thank you very much, everyone.